Hi everyone, it's me, Sailor Pluto, Tessa here. And today I'm going to talk about how it is to be the keeper of room and time. Now, a lot of you folks out there might say, well, Sailor Pluto, or Underworld, since Pluto is a Latinish borrowed name, and Hades is a Hellenish borrowed name, which both of them was just unlike borrowed name for the same god, which handled the underworld. And the English world is the underworld. So why is it that you're the keeper of time and room when Pluto happens to be the underworld? Yes, it's true that Pluto is a Latinist borrowed name, which was most likely borrowed from Latinist through Frenchish into English. It doesn't belong to English. The English word is underworld. And yes, I should be the keeper of the underworld, or at least the keeper of new birth and death. But that's not what happened. You see, I ended up becoming the keeper of room and time. You see, God and Jesus entrusted me to watch over the door of time, to keep folks from going into the upcoming, keeping folks from going into the past. You know, you can't have folks go into the upcoming and seeing what's going to happen in their upcoming, and you can't have folks going into the past. You know that. Now, a lot of folks like to wonder, why did God choose me for that work? Why did God entrust me with being a keeper of room and time? Well, God Almighty trusted me for whatever ground sake or why. It was Zordon, it was Queen Serenity who said, Sailor Pluto, we got to work for you. You see, there's this door, and it's the door of room and time. Now, God has entrusted you to watch over this room and this time door, because it lets folks go to the upcoming and it lets folks go to the past. Now, you might think to yourself, you can't be somewhere where you haven't been yet, and you can't be somewhere that you already were, you know. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. So I've been watching the door of time, room and time, for a long time. Now, some folks say, if you couldn't leave, how did you leave in the third following of Sailor Moon and the fifth following? Well, Diana, believe it or not, in the drawing books, and also in the 24 between YL, you know, Sailor Moon Hearth 1, 2, and 3, and Forever, and and Hearst, I guess with World that hasn't come out yet. Diana sometimes fills in for me. So that's most likely how I could been doing what I was doing in the third following of Sailor Moon and the fifth following. A lot of folks like to say that I have this skill of, doing a thing called a time stop, but saying that it's forbidden for me to do it. And if I would do it, it would worth me my death. Well, if that was true, which I did do it in the third following to help Sarah Uranus and Sailor Neptune, I guess Skyworld and SeaWorld, Amara Michelle, when the Windy Bird got struck. But I did come back in the fifth following, so yeah, I guess that oversight was never really done. And a lot of folks like to say that I gave, Rini, whatever you want to call her, Sailor Little Moon, the soon to be the upcoming new young Queen Serenity, or whatever you want to call her. Yeah. He said that I had given her that tool so she could go back in time to seek the Saga Silver Hearth of the past, come back to the upcoming, and with some luck and mostly with the help of God and Jesus, undo all the harm that had happened to her, to New Heaven and into young Queen Serenity and King Endymion and everyone else there. And when she did get back to the upcoming with the past selves, she was like, was I supposed to do it? And I said, well, you learned how to work the time tool or the time key. You see, but you see, I only let folks go through time if God and Jesus deemed them worthy to do so. So when they were going to the upcoming, to fight, Diamond and Sapphire and Emerald and the Wise Man, I let them go into the upcoming because God and Jesus seen them worthy and let them do it. But there have been sundriest folks who have seeked to go to the past, but then they would say, if your work is to stop folks from going to the upcoming or to the past, how did the dead moonkin get there? How did Diamond have Ruvius and Catsy and Birdie and Charisma and Avery go back in time? How did you not stop that? How did you not stop Diamond from sending Emerald back in time sundriest times? Or how did you not stop, Diamond or the Wise Man or Wicked Lady when Rini was brainwashed from going back to the past? I do not know. Somehow, some way they got past me, But anyway, it is what it is, though. So I've been a keeper of room and time for sundriest years, and I'm the first Alder sailor fighter that you meet. I show up in the 2 diff following long before I show up in the 3 diff following or the 5th following. And some folks out there might say, oh, well, Pluto or Sailor Pluto or Sailor Underworld or Tissa. No. Pluto's a dwarf world. It's no longer a big world anymore. Do you think I bloody care what your belief of my world is or if not? Pluto is a small world. Yes, it is. But it still has a moon. It still has some wakefulness, not as much as other worlds do. And it takes Pluto a longer time to go around the sun once than it does for all the other worlds in the Milky Way starway and whatever starways we have. So at the end of the day, Pluto's still a world. So are the other smaller worlds out there too. Anyway, that's all the time I have. If you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the other film we made earlier this morning when Sailor Earth, Ernest P. Worrell, gave his thoughts to why we're not on Facebook or Learbook anymore. I, Sailor Pluto or Sailor Underworld, Tissa, and I hope you like this film. Goodbye. Farewell. That won't